So guys, if you're following along on the Friday videos, which has been slacking lately, I gotta admit, we recently moved this guy outside. We got some stuff to do on a caddy, right? So the caddy's inside, and I still got a couple little things I want to do on this guy while we're, moving things around. It's definitely possible, and something we're going to take care of on this week's Tuesday Morning Tech Tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. So obviously, guys, we got this big, beautiful shop that I love, and I'm like blessed to have. It's way cooler in there just because the humidity out here is forget about it. But we still got some things we want to take care of on this guy. Just because she's not in the shop doesn't mean we can't just, quick little stuff. And we'll take you around. I'll show you what they're going to be. Number one, start in the front. We don't have those headlight bezels in. There's a reason. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute, probably as we're throwing them in. So there's that. Then we work our way back a little bit. And we got a couple little things in the interior that, let's open the door first. There we go. Well, we're kind of staring right here. We're going to try something there. The rear view mirror is set for Andre the Giant. And maybe a couple of little things in there too. Just little stuff we can take care of that kind of just knock it off the list because, less boxes sitting around the shop. And it makes you feel better. You can knock out, what did you say, last week, one thing a day? We're going to knock out a couple of small things and, make ourselves feel a little better about it. And hopefully we can motivate some of you guys to do the same thing because God knows I need the motivation myself. All right, so obviously this grill has been weathered and beat up just like the rest of this rig, since 1989. Been a work truck like its whole life, so there you go, right? Well, this side was busted. Couldn't save it, so we had to order a new one. It's actually like a redone. They did a nice job. It looks brand new, right? Well, you put it next to this guy, you see a difference, right? So, I asked a question a while ago. Should I restore this one and the grill to match that one, or weather that one a little bit and then, time will take its course and it'll match? Well, thanks for nothing, guys. Nobody gave me any advice. So now we're going to deal with what I decided. What I decided is I'm done caring about that. We're going to throw these on, and then later on we'll probably try to make this one a little bit worn. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We were missing a couple little things. The old one was busted, didn't have the little guy that goes in there, kind of like this one does. So we bought what we thought was the same thing. It's not, but it'll work. And we only have 7 screws, which is fine because the restored one, of course, all 4 of them, those holes are nice and ready to go. Oh, about to break that. They're good to go. This one is kind of blown out there. It's supposed to look like that. We tried to save it. It didn't work. We were able to save that one though. Or is it that one? I don't remember, guys. We did such a good job saving it. I forget which one it was. However, what I'm saying is we got 7 screws, 7 functional holes. So, yeah, let's get her done. Correction, guys. We got 8 screws. And just so happens, that's the one that's blown out. So we're going to keep it right there. And it's going to look like, everything's as it should be. Nice. to the pool. Ready. There you go. There you go, guys. Less than 5 minutes worth of work and just makes a world of difference, right? Even though this is my least favorite square body grill, it's, tell me if I'm wrong, but check it out. It's kind of like a cross between a square body grill and an OBS grill. I don't know. It's not terrible. It's just not my favorite. However, it doesn't look too bad now that it's all together. And even though this guy's a lot nicer, you probably wouldn't have noticed it if I didn't point it out to you. All right, now that that's done, we're going to turn our attention to the interior. First of all, what is the thing we use the most when we're driving this thing, right? Well, you should always have your hands on the wheel. So these older ones, they weren't the softest. They were kind of thin, so if you got big old paws, it's just not comfortable. These guys right here were the cat's meow in the 80s and 90s until they came up with those big furry ones and all the crap you could put on there now. In fact, the dude at Napa was like, yo, I don't even know if they make it anymore. I had to get this offline because, well, no store carried them. I absolutely love them. I'm probably going to buy a bunch of them because I foresee me using them. I got one in my 65. I've had one in all my older cars with the little skinny wheels like this one. So, goes on pretty easy. We'll throw it on and maybe I'll show you along the way. We'll see. So guys, I kind of lied a little bit because once you get going, you just go, right? So you stretch this thing over it. It's pretty tight, and that's kind of the whole point behind it, right? You want to place this guy down here where these things come out of, they're attached on the bottom, right? And then you just wrap it. And you can see there's these perforated holes. You put it between the holes so it's got nice spacing all the way around it. You got plenty of left over. Tie it in a double knot, trim it, tuck the edges in. You'll never know it's there. Promise you, like I said, I've had it on like every older car, and it's got a little cushion to it now, and you see it's actually, it looks a little more comfortable with the old bear paw on there. So, I'll trim it, tuck those in, it'll look beautiful, and then we're going to move on to putting that mirror at a normal human's height. So here you go, guys. Got it all trimmed up, tucked away, looking nice. So we got the rear view mirror adhesive kit sitting there right next to our hydration system, and we're gonna you see the problem here, right, guys? Now, if you look below where that little button goes on there, right there, you can see it's smudgy, right? Kind of tacky. That's where it's supposed to go. Somebody was too lazy to scrape that off and clean it up, so I just went above it. I'm going to show you the directions on this little guy here. This guy's been around forever. I use it a million times. So I know that's inside. I'll show you what the directions say, and you'll see step one, this guy screwed up. So your guy's little button came off way too easy. I just took this guy and went, and it just came right off. So it might have been more than one step he missed. But first step, remove the button and put a mark on it so you don't put it up upside down. Good, makes sense. Then the next one, on the outside of the windshield, mark the spot where the button was mounted. Yeah, we missed the mark because it was definitely here, and he put it there. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're sitting here and you look up, and all you can see is like this crazy headliner. I mean, yeah, it was a weird angle, guys. It really was. Like, it's really hard to show you without the mirror here, but I just happen to have one. So, like it was here, right? And yeah, you can see out of it, but put it here. It's just more of it's a better angle, guys. I know I'm obsessing over stuff that doesn't matter, but that's just kind of what I do. So we're gonna mark it accordingly, like it says right here, and scrape everything off and put the new stuff on. There's my beautiful marking. Just jumped on the hood on the outside there. Slapped it up with the old Sharpie, which, by the way, is the only thing not provided. You got everything else in here. You got alcohol. You got a little bit of sandpaper to, see, alcohol prep. A little sandpaper to do this guy up a little bit. You got the razor blade here to scrape all the old crap off the windshield. You got it all. So there's no reason. I think this was 13 bucks, guys. No reason to have your stuff mounted the wrong way or not on there at all. $13 in, 20 minutes. All right, I'm going to, next time you look there, there'll be a button hanging there. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so I inadvertently lied to you because I got down to step 4 there where I sanded everything off with a button. She's ready to go. And then I glanced up a little bit and saw that. So it's considerably hotter than that and humid as a mofo. We want that to stay and not pop off the way it did a couple minutes ago. So we will wait till we put this in the shop for that. But we're ready to go, guys. We got the windshield prepped. We got this guy prepped. And, well, we'll clean this all up and worry about that later. Did I mention it's hot out?
Boy, it's hot. This is hot. Never got this hot in Brooklyn. This is like Africa hot. Tarzan couldn't take this kind of hot.
So, guys, that's a couple things off the old to-do list. And fun fact, I really do have a to-do list. I actually have a file on my phone with all the vehicles, shop stuff, house stuff, and actually one of just YouTube stuff to try and keep everything in some kind of order. We got the board over there, which has a bunch of stuff on it, and the Suburban had a whole lot of stuff written on there. We accomplished all that. I need to, update it with the stuff off of my phone. You gotta, maybe if I spend as much time working on a thing as I did making lists, it'd be like show quality by now, But seriously, we learned a couple lessons this week, right? We learned if you just take a little bit of time and jump out there, just like we said last week, right? One thing a day. Jumped out there, took care of a couple things. It wasn't in the shop. It's not top priority. Those things weren't showstoppers, but they were on my mind. There was parts laying around, and it just took a little bit of time to knock it out. Why not, right? We also learned there's a time and place for everything. Because, and I thought about it as I was getting ready to get everything prepped and put the adhesive on. I was like, I know there's a temperature max for this, so let's take a look at that. Because those things always fall off of windshields when it's really hot or really cold. Because that's how adhesive works. I mean, we all know that, right? So if I didn't look at that and I tried to just push forward, it's only, it's 86, it's 11 degrees, but the real feels like 94. It's humid, which that's not going to help that set up. I mean, that's a real thing, guys. Chemicals need the proper environment to set up. And if you start trying to just do things even though it's not the right environment, you're going to redo it. It happens to us all the time at work, sealant and that kind of stuff. People try to get ahead and you end up taking steps back because now you got to scrape all the old stuff off and start all over. So I think we made a good decision. We'll just wait. During the week, it's supposed to get down to the 60s at night. We'll put the thing in the shop because out there it's in direct sun, it's humid, and it's hot. Those are the things I said not to do. All three of those, right? So kind of the trifecta. So no big deal. We don't get that done right now. We'll get it done later. Not a problem. I did want to sew that seat up. I thought we had heavy duty thread. And the reason I thought that is because Megan told me we had heavy duty thread. And then she went and looked in her sewing kit and realized she didn't. So that's on order now. We'll get to that when we get to it. Maybe next week it'll be sitting around and we can just take care of that in a couple minutes, whatever. Again, not a showstopper, just something to clean it up a little bit, make it a little bit better, maybe prevent it from getting worse, whatever it might be. But I want to take this opportunity to, knock out a couple things like we did on the Tundra. Like we were working on the Tundra, and I knock out a couple things during it, like on a tech tip, because I'm doing something. I might as well record it. And hey, you never know when somebody's going to learn something. Hopefully that helped. A little different type of a tech tip, but hey, man, learning's learning. Everybody learns different ways. My whole life, I learned by screwing stuff up. Hopefully you guys can learn by watching me screw up and save yourselves a little time and money. Thanks for watching, guys.